Hey guys. Well, long time no see. I've been doing life things and, kind of taking a accidental yet on purpose YouTube break. And in the future, moving forward here, you might see a video in a month apart. You might see them 6 months or a year apart. I don't really know. I got something I'm working on today on the old Loadstar camper that maybe you're interested in. So if we look at the back of the Loadstar here, the frame of the truck ends right there, about a foot behind, maybe 16 inches behind the rear of the tires. So, it's about 2.5 feet from axle center line to the back of the frame. From there, it's sitting on a subframe, or well, I should say the subframe is sitting on the frame. It's the whole entire length of the camper body. That is 2x2 by 1/4 inch square tubing. And then above that is the camper frame, which extends obviously all the way to the back, actually sticks out the back and goes to that bumper that I welded on. So that frame is continuous. So my logic at the time was, well, hey, the camper rode all those years, and mind you, the trailer axle was actually a little forward of where this axle center line is, but the camper rode all those years where it was, so why couldn't it be? Well, it could. The difference being that I put all the way at the back. I've got, you can see my black tank right there, and then I have I think it's 35 or 38 gallon freshwater tank, clearly, like literally at the back, the rearmost point, plus the bed is right there. It's just the kitchen cabinets up front. There's actually not much weight, so I've kind of concentrated some weight. And what happened was, you can actually see the ripple right there. When I built this in that barn right there 2 years ago or 3 years ago or 2 years ago, I had it supported at the rear and the front, and I skinned it, rebuilt all the walls and skinned it. Well, then when I rolled it outside and we put it on the truck, it's now supported here instead of there. And what happened was it bent just a little bit. So I want to get that out of there and re-support it, because it always makes me nervous when this thing's on the trailer and it's bouncing down the road on a trailer. Why don't we say trailer one more time, Rob?
Say what again? Say what again? I dare you. I double dare you.
And I've got all that weight cantilevering back. So, there was a bunch of keyboard warriors who told me the axle was too far back when I built the truck, blah, 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 blah. The axle's not too far back. It's the center line of the camper is about a foot forward of the center line of the axle of the truck. Obviously, this is not on a, Toyota Tacoma chassis. This is was originally a 25,000 GVW truck. I've put even heavier axles and driveline in it. So, we're at 25,000. This thing's nowhere near GVW, but I just don't like the bounce that this thing creates. So we're gonna fix that today. Also, this is a twofold project. So I've got some heavy 6-inch C-channel and some square tubing and a bunch of flat stock. Some of this is actually for another project. And then we've got a 2.5-inch receiver tube, because the other goal of this project is I want to get myself a bike rack mount, the ability to put a bike rack on here. Because sometimes when we're at trailer or truck shows, we want to be able to have a couple bikes with us so we can bounce back and forth or ride through. And why have a golf cart when we can get some exercise and ride our bicycles? So anyway, I want to have that option. So there's our steel. Let's get started. So the biggest problem we've got when we look here, so here's our truck frame. You see above it, right here, is our subframe. And then these are the cross beams, basically, that reconnect to the trailer frame, which is continuous all the way through. So where we're getting our bow, I can actually see it. I doubt you'll make it out, but our bow is happening right here. It's just a little bit. It's probably a 1/4 inch, but it's bowed down. So my idea is to, and I guess I should rephrase, because if you look where the black tank is, I can't just come off the back, at least on this side, and continue it through. So we have to get creative here. We've also got this outlet to contend with, but and we've got this tie bar that goes across and connects both of the rear leaf spring mounts, which is integral. We have to go around that. So yeah, we're gonna get creative, and we're gonna use some of that C-channel, and we're gonna extend underneath all of this and tie back to this bumper, and we're gonna come a couple feet forward, and we're gonna weld right to this frame rail. The other challenge is the International, at least back in these days, tapered the frames starting at the front. It's full length right when you're at the crossover, right where the front springs, or the front of the rear springs connect, and from there it tapers back, and the whole thing's only 6 inches tall back here, and I think it starts out as a 9 or 10 inch frame up front. So we have to work through that. So I'm gonna get started, and we'll see what we come up with. All right, so there's what I came up with. Decided to weld most of it here in the shop on the table, because it's a lot easier to be accurate, but all we've got is some wedge cut 3-inch bar. Measured the wedge on the truck, so we cut 4 of those, and then that's just some 1/8-inch 2-inch plate. It's going to be easier. It was easier to true everything up here rather than trying to keep it square on the truck where there's not much to magnet off of or measure off of. And then welded right to the C-channel in the right place. This side will bolt right in. That side will have to have a notch out of the C-channel, I'm pretty sure, or we'll have to remount the waist dump. So we'll see. Gotta get them in place. Got the jacks down, so we're got weight up off and ready to put it in. Okay, so I've got the jacks down, and they're taking all the weight and then some. There's like no weight on the rear axle, just maybe the weight of the axle itself. Those are 7,500 pound jacks, so 15,000 pounds total between the two of them, and this thing doesn't weigh half that at the back. So what I've elected to do though is I've changed the angle. I actually have these beams angling up a little bit, and it's probably going to bug me, but I do have ground clearance to worry about. And it puts me so that top of the beam is right flush with this bumper bar, which will let me tie in with this whole assembly really easily. It also has it, we'll keep it just barely higher than what the plate was. The plate only drug once by just, millimeters, so I do have to get this thing trued up because it wants to kick to one side. So we're gonna weld the outside up there when we weld, and but I've got it marked for spacing. We got it in place as much as we can, so I'm gonna do some tacks to draw it where I want it, and then we'll full weld it, and then we'll match the other side, and then we'll worry about fabricating this plate, which will house the hitch, and yeah, we'll make it work. All right, guys, well, it's done. And being that it's on the trailer, it's a little easier to show you the finished product. So let me spin you. All right, so there we go. There's our rails. Now, I didn't end up using, I welded D-rings on, did not end up using them as tie down points because without basically some cross members, it wants to side load those and tweak them out, and we don't need that. We're not worried about, and we already have a frame. This is all box. I'm not worried about adding those in. What it does let me do though is the D-rings let me just put a simple little 2-inch ratchet strap across there, which prevents, because I'm chained to the axle, and that prevents the body from bouncing too much, which we also don't want. So the D-rings come in handy anyway. But yeah, you can see where we're welded up to the frame there. You can see what I ended up doing. Just reworked the black tank drain, snuck it through a little gap and everything, and works out nice. Put a little 22.5 degree angle on it so we get good flow out. Actually didn't even really need that. I could have kept that up here, but whatever, it's easier to get to like that. You can see where our hitch tube right there is tied to the back plate. Did some, don't look at those welds, did some just some 45-degree reinforcement planes, because that's just plate, that's not C-channel or anything across the back. Did a couple of flat stock tie plates to tie that up to this light bar, which then ties up here to the frame of the trailer. So that 2.5-inch hitch tube is boxed in at a couple different points. See, the bike rack's actually in it. And we put D-rings back here. This thing's never going to tow a trailer, but you know, I wasn't going to do this and not put the D-rings on. Relocated the plate. I really like where that is off to the left. Yeah, all that for a bike rack, basically. And that's what it looks like. So, well guys, that's about the end of it. We got us a subframe, and I don't know. Again, I like seeing the business end of stuff, but I like the way that looks. I think it looks finished off, whereas before it kind of looked like it had its ass in the air and nothing underneath it, and now it looks like it's got a little more to it. You can see that slight angle up there. That is intentional in order to keep the rear end as high as I can. Loaded it just fine, nothing drags. She got plenty of rear overhang clearance, and yeah, and we're loaded up, ready to go to a show here in less than 2 weeks. All right guys, thanks for watching. We'll see you again next time around.